Hello and welcome to the podcast So Casted. I am your host, Tara Lockett. Today's topic, hope. Never lose it. But before we get into that, as always, I want to remind you that mental health awareness is important and it matters to all of us. Whether you had a great upbringing or not, if you understand mental health in the way that it's described here with So Casted, then you might be able to help someone else that's battling something that you know nothing of. And as always, kindness is never a wrong step or direction to go in. Now, I want to share a wisdom dot with you from Tara, and that is, I quote, "Hope isn't a weak link. It's a breath of pause and a reset of your faith and what you believe in. But remember, it is important for us to believe in something way higher than ourselves. If you don't believe in God, and I know that is a huge thing for people, and I personally feel like a spiritual life is for others to discover their creator, their maker, and in all the awe and wonder that we as humans are, and then even the nature in life itself. It's nothing weird or heebie-jeebie or ooh, no, it's just coming to that understanding that once you're in a position in life where you have no other choice but to put God and trust God at his word and find out for yourself how awesome God is, then you understand what I'm talking about. But I do encourage you to get a very strong spiritual life with your creator. But remember, hope isn't a weak link. It is the opportunity to breathe and pause and to reset your faith in what you believe in. Let's get into it, because hope, we must never lose that. Hope is like a breath of fresh air in some situations. Sometimes when life is just throwing so much at you, you must hold on to that hope that, you know what, Lord, I know that this is part of my journey in life and I am going to get to my destination safely. Because sometimes it just seems like, oh my gosh, here's that moment of truth, and then you wake up and boom. There are three things that I want to share with you in regards to hope and never losing it. As I stated, it is important for us to hold on to one of the things that I think is very, very valuable. It's one of the things I value, and that is our peace. If we don't hold on to peace and we don't SLL, as I like to call it, which is stop, look, and listen, then we make some pretty ignorant choices in our lives. And I know I'll be the first to admit it, to help those adults out there who think that they can't admit it. You know, we must be willing to admit those faults. And I'm learning a lot of people like to wear that mask to cover up those faults and then blame others. We must take on to that accountability. And the first thing is to hold on to that peace and not be afraid or ashamed to address the truth. Now, the second thing is important as well. And though we may look at it as some weird taboo, but it is healthy, and it also lets our bodies know that we care about them. And that is, make sure you're taking time out to breathe. That is, stop, listen to one of your favorite songs, take a walk, or read a book, or journal. And for us to do that, that's that time out where we get that opportunity to pause. And when we pause, then we have the opportunity to make a better choice when we stop, look, and we listen. Remember, along this healing journey, when we heal our minds, free our hearts, and activate change, along this journey, there are going to be those three levels. And I want to keep reminding you, because for me, I have to constantly tell myself, oh, you're at the awakening stage. Oh, you're unchaining some things. Oh, now you get the opportunity to be the liberator. Those are constant evolvings in our lives. Those are things that constantly evolve for us to evolve. And that is those three moments of our truth, our trust, and then we get to treasure that evolvement. And then the last thing is the ability to reset ourselves. A lot of times we get misunderstood, is what I want to use the word, is misunderstood, because people sometimes don't realize that time is a love language, and time is also something that we must value. And when a person lets you know they'll get back, you have to value that person's time. I know my son has taught me how to value his time because that is one of his love languages. But in understanding and knowing that is important, because then you get the opportunity to show people, I value your time. And if we're not taking time to reset, we must personally learn to value our time, and then other people can learn to value our time. But if we're not taking that opportunity to value our time, then resetting is kind of like chaotic because you won't have a chance to breathe. And when we hope, we must never lose it. Again, I remind you, hope isn't a weak link. It's that breath of pause and to reset that faith in what you believe in. So cast it, because your mind matters and is the vision of our future. Imagine great.